relax, be cool. Cause if you don't, you'll act like a fool, so be cool.
No intro, let's just do this! This is my honest opinion of 28 years later! Set 28 years after the second outbreak of the rage virus, a small island community has managed to create a primitive but safe environment for themselves with only one way in. A causeway that only appears during low tide and would be a death sentence to swim in high tide. Spike, played by Alfie Williams, is a 12-year-old boy who is about to go on his first hunt on the mainland with his dad Jamie, played by Aaron Taylor Johnson. Despite some hiccups and encounters with a swarm of infected, they manage to return home safely. However, Spike's mother, Isla, played by Jodie Comer, is afflicted with a strange illness. With no doctors on the island, Spike learns of a strange doctor living alone on the mainland named Kelson, played by Ralph Fiennes, and takes his mother out of their home to find this doctor in hopes of making her better. Yes! Yes, it's good! I am so happy to be able to say that. I mean, let's be real here. Franchises that haven't been touched in the double-digit years have a tendency to be either really friggin' good or really friggin' bad. Now, I do have to be real with myself. This is not a perfect film. It definitely trips over itself and kind of royally faceplants in a couple of areas. It's definitely not Maverick levels of epic or anything like that. It's closer to something like Furiosa. Not quite as good as its predecessor, but where it counts, that's where it's most awesome to me and why I think it's still worthwhile. Now, I do want to say this before we get started. If anyone's concerned about spoilers here, nothing red hot anyway. I am going to be talking about the plot. I am going to be talking about how certain things are set up, little things here and there, but nothing that gives away anything major. So with that said, let's get down in this awesome apocalypse. Sorry, I've been playing a lot of Sunset Overdrive lately.
The apocalypse is our chance to be whoever we want to be. No bosses, no rules. I call it the awesome apocalypse.
The opening is pretty much what you think it is. Back when the virus was just kicking off and taking over, a little boy named Jimmy is attacked by infected. His sisters are killed, his mother is killed, he escapes to his local church where his father is also a priest, who thinks this outbreak is a sign from God. There's always one nut job who does. Jimmy escapes and that concludes the opening. At least, sort of. I mean, this is definitely one of the ways this movie faceplants, but yeah, I can't really talk about it because it's a spoiler. Let's just say it's really friggin' stupid how this gets revisited. Now we get to where we want to be. The future! I love the vibe of this island. The people have adapted, they're self-sufficient, can easily make eggs and bacon that they don't have to pay with their own kidneys and livers. You know, I don't think we're romanticizing the end of modern civilization enough. There's gotta be some fringe benefits. We get Spike's family dynamic. His dad is totally stoked to take his kid out hunting, but his mom is sadly sick, bedridden, and forgetting things, barely having any idea what's going on around her. This is probably a good time to tackle two things in particular. First off, Taylor Johnson fans might be discouraged to know that he is not the main character of this movie. Spike is. Once we do our stuff on the mainland to go back home, Jamie doesn't just take the back seat, he's in the trunk. That would be a bummer if I didn't think Williams and Comer couldn't carry the film together, but they absolutely do. As I got more involved in the eventual journey with this boy and his mom, I didn't care much about where Daddy-O was. Also, Comer is the standout performer in this, and I would be floored if she had a better role. Wholly committed, tears your fucking heart out, she is fan-fucking-tastic. I guess it was a tall order for her to top her epic, amazing performance as Rey's mom from Rise of Skywalker. Actually, to be fair, she kind of was good for all of the 30 seconds of screen time that she had. If you ask me though, she got the better end of the stick. The rest of us had to be there for 2.5 fucking hours. I haven't made this clear yet, so I'm gonna iron this out now. Spike doesn't randomly pick a direction to try and find a doctor. When he's out on his hunt with his dad, they get chased by some infected and hide in an old house's attic. In the distance, Spike sees a pillar of smoke from a fire and later learns that it belongs to Dr. Voldemort, a dude that Jamie thinks is crazy and all by himself. That's how the kid figures to take his mom to He Who Must Not Be Named. Just don't eat anything that he cooks, man. Don't even look at the tortillas. Just throw them out. Just yeet them like you're playing frisbee golf. Just a cheeseburger with American cheese and julienne fries, but no substitutions. Just don't fucking do it. I'm really hungry right now. I'm gonna keep things pretty vague from here on out, but I will say this much. This barely feels like a zombie film that you would expect from Danny Boyle. But then again, that's kind of par the course, isn't it? Days Later felt like an indie horror, Weeks Later felt like action, and this feels like a family road trip drama with horror elements thrown in. Give this franchise some credit. They have their own distinct identities, and it's probably really easy to take a screenshot from any one of them and know exactly which one is which. But somehow, this works. Comer and Williams have incredible chemistry. Entire scenes made me smile and lift my spirits, which is something I appreciate as a whole. A great balance of lighter moments in a world that feels doomed. Perhaps my only criticism is that the potential for greater drama and danger isn't quite utilized with Isla in the party. Because she has bouts of confusion, one would think that she'd make too much noise and unknowingly attract danger to them once in a while. Doesn't happen. At least, not in a satisfying way. There is a bit where she wanders toward danger, but this drives me nuts. Without giving anything away, she hears the cries of an infected, but is obviously confused and assumes it's a normal person crying out in pain or something. What kills me is how terrible Spike is at trying to catch up to her. Like, she's just a few meters away, but he takes for goddamned ever to catch up with her. Yeah, he's being held back by another character who cares a little more than he needs to, but that's weak sauce. It doesn't help that this character was kind of annoying too. So I guess it's not like this didn't try to do anything with her condition and its effect on the journey that she was on, but it could have been done better. At least the setup is what's underwhelming. The rest of the scene is, bold, fascinating. Definitely interested in seeing where all this is going to go in the sequels. Can't talk about it though because it's a spoiler. Another bit of criticism is a random-ass girl boss moment out of Isla. She and Spike hunker down for the night. He tries and fails to stay up to keep watch over her, and a fat crawling zombie tries to munch on him, but a mysterious figure starts bashing its head in. It's weird though, because it's filmed like a dream sequence or something. But then Spike wakes up the next morning and there's the body of the zombie. Lo and behold, the mystery wraps up in about 5 seconds and it's revealed it was Isla. How convenient that she had control of her faculties just as her kid was about to become zombie kibble, and then forget all about it the next morning. To be fair, it's the only scene of its kind. This isn't like some woke-ass movie, bro. With that said, it's just weird directing for a scene that, for all intents and purposes, didn't even need to be there. But even in all that awkwardness, I still like how this plays into Spike's development and character. In addition to this being a road trip movie, it's also a coming-of-age story about this kid that had to grow up way too soon. Especially at this point in the story. He's trying to man up. He's trying to be that responsible adult who takes care of his mother and has a plan to fix everything. I've met grown-ass adults with less going on in their heads than this prepubescent, snot-nosed punk. But like all kids who want to grow up too fast, they have their limits. Spike is not a man yet. He doesn't have the fortitude to stay up long hours. He isn't built to protect. He's still a kid. He's the one who's supposed to be looked after, but here we are. He sure has the courage of a man, but the constitution of a boy who still needs at least one parent to look out for him. Granted, the stars were so aligned that they make Scar's hyenas look staggered, his mom bailing him out of his fuck-up, but the fact that it nearly cost him his life and potentially his mother's is such a great moment for him to realize. In my Weeks Later review, I said that I was hoping to see how the rage virus would develop over the course of nearly 30 years. Actually, I kind of got it. So, light spoilers ahead, like the most dimmed of light spoilers ahead. It almost looks like they have their own societies forming. Okay, they're probably on par with chimpanzees using sticks to grab ants to eat. Not even that, actually. But there's something there that sets them apart from how zombies are usually depicted. For further clarification, they are nothing like what Zack Snyder was doing with Army of the Dead. Actually, to be honest, I don't dislike that movie. It's just very, Snyderfied. If that's not a word, then trademarked. Y'all owe me a quarter every time you say it. The point I'm trying to make is that this leaves some stuff open for a sequel. Will Danny actually pay it off in a satisfying way? Who the hell knows? Only time will tell. But then again, you know, the Star Wars sequels exist. Exactly how many plot threads were left open after Force Awakens? You know, that's my second jab at the Star Wars sequels. I can't help it, man. I'm a Star Wars nerd. I just finished playing KOTOR's 1 and 2, which are the best Star Wars things that have ever been made, in my opinion. Damn, the insult that were the sequels. Except for Force Awakens, I still legit like that one. But man, that's not getting out of my blood anytime soon. Perhaps now is a great time to wrap things up. There is a new character that joins Spike and Isla on their journey named Eric, played by Edvin Ridding. It's Swedish. He feels pretty forced, almost like an out-of-time dude bro. But maybe that's the point. I think the virus is eradicated in mainland Europe, with only Britain as the quarantined red zone, the occasional international patrol seeing how things are. His team gets slaughtered by infected and he joins Spike and Isla as the sole survivor of his group. He adds little to nothing. Beyond that, there's so much that I just can't get into because it's all spoiler filled. Basically anything involving Ralph Fiennes is honestly some of the best shit I've ever seen in any zombie film. In fact, in areas it gets kind of beautiful. It goes into this whole philosophical thing about death, and as someone who's deathly afraid of it, it brought me some peace to that idea. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of cried too. So few horror films do that for me, and I gotta give props when that happens. I ain't sitting here saying it's a perfect film. I never said that. I don't know the person who said that. It does set up some interesting stuff for the sequels. Minus the final 5 minutes or so of this movie. Holy shit, that stuff was stupid. There better be a damn good payoff when Bone Temple releases in January. Holy God, that is the graveyard month for these kinds of movies. It's gonna be an uphill battle from here. But fine, I'm here, I'm in. Let's see where this goes. But as for this movie, I say, if you're a fan of the franchise, you kinda gotta see this. Even if you end up not being a fan of the whole thing, I gotta believe that there's something here that you appreciate. I certainly do myself, so I recommend it for fans of the franchise. My honest rating for 28 years later, a strong 4 out of 5.
There are many kinds of death, and some are better than others.
Thanks so much for watching, you guys. I really appreciate it. Hit that like or dislike button. All engagement is welcomed. Subscribe to the channel for more reviews. And as always, have a great day. Stay safe and healthy out there, and hope to see you soon.
Face facts. You don't take time to sleep, eat, or drink, but just remember that it's later than you think. So be cool, just relax. So be cool.